Next we see the topic of spherical mirrors. The reflecting surface of the spherical mirror may be curved inward or outward. A spherical mirror is that mirror whose reflecting surface is a part of the hollow sphere of the glass. One side of the mirror is well polished and another one is reflecting, and the other side is mirror is opaque. The spherical mirrors are two types. One is a concave mirror and another one is the convex mirror. In the concave mirror, a spherical mirror whose reflecting surface is curved inward, that is, the faces towards the center of the sphere. It is called a concave mirror. Next, convex mirror. In this case, a spherical mirror whose reflecting surface is curved outwards. It is called a convex mirror. Now we can take the example of spoon. The surface of the spoon curved inwards can be approximated is a concave mirror, and the surface of the spoon bludged outward, it is a convex mirror. Before we move on to the further of spherical mirror, we need to understand some terms. Next one, pole. Pole is nothing but the center of the reflecting surface of a spherical mirror is called pole. Next, it lies on the surface of the mirror. The pole is usually represented by letter P. Next, center of curvature of the spherical mirror. The reflecting surface of the spherical mirror form a part of the sphere. The sphere has a center. The point is called the center of curvature of the spherical mirror. Next, radius of curvature of the mirror. The radius of the sphere of which the reflecting surface of the spherical mirror form a part is called radius of curvature of the mirror. It is represented by the letter R. Okay, the distance BC is equal to radius of curvature. Next, principle of axis. Imagine the straight line passing through the pole and the center of the curvature of the spherical mirror. This is called principal axis. Is called principal axis. Next, the principal focus of the concave mirror. A number of rays parallel to the principal axis falling on the concave mirror observe the reflecting. They are interacting at a point on the principal axis of the mirror. This point is called the principal focus of the concave mirror. Next, for convex mirror. The reflected rays appears to come from the point on the principal axis. This point is called the principal focus of the convex mirror. The principal focus is represented by the letter F. Next, focal length. The distance between the pole and the principal focus of the spherical mirror is called focal length. It is represented by the letter small f. Next, aperture. The reflecting surface of the spherical mirror is by the large spherical. The surface has the circular outline. The diameter of the reflecting surface of the spherical mirror is called aperture. Okay, in diagram it represents the MN. MN is the aperture. Next, the relation between the radius of curvature and focal length. The radius of curvature is found to be equal to twice the focal length. Okay, we know R is equal to 2F. It implies that the principal focus of the spherical mirror is between the pole and center of curvature. R is equal to 2F. Next, we see paraxial and marginal rays. The rays traveling very closest to the principal axis and make a small angles with it is called paraxial rays. These rays fall on the mirror very close to the pole of the mirror, and then come on to the marginal rays. The rays traveling far away from the principal axis and fall on the mirror far away from the pole, it is called marginal rays. So as the angle made by the paraxial rays are very small, these two rays are behave in different manner and focused at the different points. As the angle made by the paraxial rays are very small, this helps to make some approximation with the angles in ray optics. Next we see relation between radius of curvature r and focal length f for a spherical mirror. Consider the concave mirror. There is a pole of this mirror P and a center of curvature C. If we join this line, we get a principal axis. CP is a principal axis. Next, consider incident ray AB. It is fall on the point B on the mirror. Okay. This CP is a normal to the mirror at the point B. Okay. So this is an angle of incidence I. It can be represented with the theta. Angle of incidence theta. So angle between the incident and the normal is the angle of incidence theta. BF, the red color line indicates a reflected ray. Reflected ray. It is passed on to the line of point of F. So there is a angle of reflection theta. That means angle between the normal and to the reflection is the theta. Already we know law of reflection I is equal to R. So here we can write both the angles are equal. So theta. Angle of incidence also theta. Angle of reflection also theta. And this angle CBF, that means BCF, it is a theta. Next, draw the one perpendicular line from the point B to the principal axis. So from the geometry, we can write BFD is the 2 theta. BFD is the 2 theta. And BCF is the theta. BCF is the theta. Here both the angles are equal. 2 theta and theta. 2 theta and the distance FD is the F and CF is the R. Okay. Now we are going to find the angle. Let us consider triangle BCD. In this BCD, find tan theta. Tan is equal to opposite by adjacent. So BD by CD. Tan theta for this triangle is equal to BD by CD. Next, consider triangle BFD. In this triangle, angle is 2 theta. So tan 2 theta is equal to opposite BD by adjacent FD. Here theta is very small, so simply we can write tan theta as the theta. Tan theta as the theta. Okay. So tan 2 theta also will be approximately equal to 2 theta. So we can write theta is equal to BD by CD. Here 2 theta is equal to BD by FD. BD by FD. So both angles are we have going to equate. So 2 theta is equal to 2 into theta. Theta theta get cancelled. So BD by FD is equal to 2 into BD by CD. BD get cancelled. We get 1 by FD is equal to 2 into 1 by CD. So CD is equal to 2 into FD. CD is nothing but a distance in this diagram. The distance CF is the R. FD is the distance F. CF is the R. FD is the F. Going to substitute into the equation. Okay. Already we know CF is equal to 2 into FD. So FD and FB is the F. CD is the approximately equal to CP is equal to R. So r is equal to 2f. From this r is equal to 2f. That means radius of curvature is equal to 2 into focal length. Radius of curvature is equal to 2 into focal length. This is a relation between the f and r. Next we see image formed in spherical mirror. There are 4 rules having for the image formation of spherical mirror. First one, concave mirror. In the case of concave mirror, when an incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, the reflected ray is passes through the principal focus. In the case of convex mirror, when the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, the reflected rays appears to passes through the principal focus. Second point, for the concave mirror, if an incident rays passes through the principal focus, the reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis. For the convex mirror, if an incident ray is directed towards the principal focus, the reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis. Next, third point, for the concave mirror, if on the incident ray is passes through the center of curvature, the reflected ray is back along the same path. That means retraces the path. In the case of convex mirror, the incident ray is directed towards the center of curvature. It will be reflected back along the same path. Next, fourth point, in the case of concave, for all the incident rays, the spherical mirror will have as a plane mirror if the point of the incident is pole of the mirror. Next we see Cartesian sign convention. Already we know object distance as a u, image height distance as a v, object height as a h, image height as a h dash, focal length f, radius of curvature r. Now let us see convention. The object is always placed to the left of the mirror. That means light is from the object, it fall on the mirror from the left hand side. So the incident light is taken from the left to right. That is object on the left of the mirror. Okay. Next, all the distance parallel to the principal axis are measured from the pole of the mirror. That means all the measurements are from the pole of the mirror. Here pole is taken as the origin. Here pole is taken as the origin. All the distance measured to the right of the origin, that is along the positive x-axis, it is taken as a positive, while those measured to the left of the origin, it is along the negative x-axis, it is taken as the negative. The distance measured perpendicular to above the principal axis, that is along the positive y-axis, it is considered as the positive. It is considered as the positive. If the distance perpendicular to the below the principal axis, that is negative y-axis, it is considered as the negative. It is considered as the negative. These are all the sign convention. These are all the sign convention. Now let us see the diagram. This is a principal axis. This is a pole P. It is the origin. This is the object AB. Object AB. This is the incident light. This is the direction of incident light. Direction of incident light, that is left to the right. Already we know incident light is taken from the left to right. That is object on the left of the mirror. Object is on the left of the mirror. Next, it is a distance towards the left. it considers the negative. The distance towards the right, it considers the positive. Height upward, it considers the positive. Height downward, considers the negative. Considers the negative. This is a sign convention. Okay.